With $16 million of federal assistance through the American Recovery and Reinvestment Program, the City of Chicago will create more than 650 green jobs for the formerly incarcerated. Mayor Daley made the announcement at a March 11th news conference.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Alderman Walter Barnett. Thank you for your commitment in working in the 27th Ward and your commitment of working throughout the city on many issues that confront all of us. And it doesn't matter what issue. It confronts everybody in the city and the country, in this state. So we have to understand that issues are all the same. And when I talk about reentry, ex-offenders, that's kind of a stamp on someone's back. And you're trying to, again, sometimes change the languages about reentry. And when you see an ex-offender, that's really a stamp. When you talk about reentry, that means rebuilding your life. And that's how you describe it. We keep saying ex-offender. That means we have the stamp on someone's back. We talk about reentry. That means, yes, they've been disciplined, they've been punished, if you want to call it, and now they want a reentry life. And I think we have to use that word more and more, even in the press, to talk about reentry. And because 99.9% of all men and women are going to reentry our society, and Walter talked about your brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles and mothers and fathers and friends and co-workers and neighbors and people that you went to church with, and all of a sudden, unfortunate mistake was made. And I think as we look at all these people attending, both in government and the private sector and in the business sector, I really appreciate, because a subject like this, sometimes a lot of people are afraid to talk about. They're just afraid to talk about the issue, and no one wants to talk about it. But I think this is vital if we want to rebuild our society. We cannot leave many people out because they're part of a family, or they already have a family. If we leave them out, that has devastating effect, not only for themselves, but their children and grandchildren, generations to come. So let's really talk about this subject in a way that can bring people together and not divide people. I really think that's important. I want to thank Terry Manzanini, Community Trust, in the forefront of a lot of issues. Boeing, a lot of other companies are stepping up, and foundations who represent a lot of businesses realize that this is a major issue, and let's get to it. Like anything else, it's difficult as we talk about the issues that the economy is tough. But again, the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, the stimulus package, has helped us tremendously. And we can point this out, the $1 billion. And you can go right to our website in education, infrastructure, creation of workforce training, housing, energy efficiency, public safety. And so it can be used very well and very transparent of what we're using for it, which people want to know. But again, this is a much more difficult economy. And when we say that, then who's always left out? Reentry people. They're always left out. Or people who got just laid off, they will be left out. And we cannot, as a society, leave people out in a serious economic crisis. And so we have to have, open arms and try to figure this out together. And not one group or one individual is going to do it, but it's going to be collectively, all of us kick the economy. How we do this, and it has to be long lasting. And I really believe that good programs that last longer are more effective than a program that lasts 6 months. So you have to have that. You cannot train people and keep training people, and afterwards they have no job. And that is very, very frustrating. And so what we look at, I think this is a great challenge, a number of issues that we're looking at, but I think Chicago is always up to these challenges, and so we're looking at these. The two of the biggest of those issues are the environment, everybody talks, and the reentry into the community of formerly incarcerated people. I'm proud of the fact that work day by day to make Chicago the most environmentally friendly city in the nation. We know that when we preserve the environment, we're really improving all of our health. We're saving money, we're creating jobs, enhancing the quality of life, and a lasting legacy for the future generations. And I'm proud that Chicago is one of the few cities to focus on challenges of prison reentry in a comprehensive way. And it's just not one program, it's comprehensive. And I want to thank many of the people behind me out in the audience have worked in the vineyards for many, many years. We're listening to them, coming up with, I think, exciting things that we can do in Chicago. We know that far too many people who have been jailed are not prepared for life outside of prison. You know that. And more than half of them rearrested within the 3 years. So that alone should startle us. We're losing more people. We're losing good people. And society then bears the human cost of crime and then the cost of sending them back to prison or jail. And we simply have to break the cycle of that. If we don't break the cycle, then more and more of your taxpayers' money is used, and then it's not used for good use of rebuilding someone's body, mind, and, of course, their soul, which is really important. Today, I want to tell you about how we've been able to take some important steps forward on both those issues with the support of the Economic Stimulus Program and some dedicated partners. We're using $16 million in federal stimulus money to create more than 650 green jobs for the formerly incarcerated into the green jobs area. This money supports our Green Jobs for All initiative, which aims to train Chicagoans for the jobs of the future. And the newest part of our effort, in partnership with the non-for-profit groups Breaking Ground and Safer Foundation, we are using $4.6 million for a 2-year program to provide job training and temporary jobs for 140 formerly incarcerated persons to take part in a new building deconstruction work program. That means taking down city-owned buildings in an environmentally sound way that salvage the materials for reuse in the building industry. So think of that. That alone is significant. Breaking Ground is already training 32 workers. Soon they'll be traveling daily to work sites where they remove nails, salvage lumber from dilapidated buildings. This program not only provides income and job training to workers, give them valuable work experience, important new job skills. It also helps us to create a new green deconstruction industry in Chicago. In fact, as part of the city's ongoing recovery partnership with the Chicago not-for-profit community, the Boeing Company Community Trust was generous enough to provide a 2-year grant to the Chicago Workforce Investment Council so it could bring a leading deconstruction expert to Chicago to help the city design this program and help Chicago build a marker for deconstruction in the future. Next, we're using $3.75 million in American Recovery and Reinvestment Act for a 2-year neighborhood cleanup initiative that will provide 230 year-round jobs. It's important when I say year-round because many reentry people, they work up to November, December, January, February, March, say 4 months. That's tough months out of work. What happens? Alcohol, drug misuse, misconduct, and then we lose them because of those 4 months, November, December, January, and February. And we don't want to do that. You want to keep them, that's realistic. If we don't, then we lose them. And then it's a sad issue. So that's why it has to be year-round. Job training service to Chicago, hard-to-employ population with emphasis on the formerly incarcerated. The workers will gain practical experience, marketable skills, vegetation control, debris removal, cleaning of neighborhood commercial strips. At the same time, of course, they'll be helping to beautify our city. We're also using $7.425 million in federal economic stimulus money to create 295 community-based green jobs for hard-to-employ, including formerly incarcerated, over the next 2 years. This funding will create 190 jobs in our existing Green Corps program, which provides training in waste reduction, pollution prevention, community horticultural, sustainable landscaping, another 25 participants in similar year-round programs with the Safer Foundation, Garfield Park Conservatory Alliance, and the new communities program at LISC. Shortly, we'll hear from one of our Green Corps graduates who have been hired as a supervisor in the program. The money will also create 80 jobs in a community green jobs program, which works through existing community organizations and agencies. If you listen to me, community organizations, existing community organizations, not-for-profits who've been involved in this. So this is not government run. This is really community participation, which is the key to many of the programs that we talk about. To place workers in green businesses that help to promote energy efficiency, reduce waste pollution through recycling, community greening, and other green initiatives. And that is the key that I really believe of educating people about recycling. How do we educate people about recycling? That is the issue. And I hope we will be able to educate many of these people, be able to go to block clubs, community organizations, block by block, and talk about this. And we'll be talking about more initiatives dealing with recycling through many of these programs, which will help us tremendously. Especially in these difficult economic times, it's critical that we work, retain good jobs for today, and we think about the future. of all this recycling and how we can use the recyclable materials, which is really important instead of putting them in dump sites. That's why the city and its partners are actively supporting existing businesses that want to green their products and services, working to attract new green businesses to Chicago, providing key training opportunities so that all Chicagoans have the opportunity to access green jobs. And that's why we are committed to ensuring these opportunities are connected to Chicagoans who need a second chance. I want to thank many, many partners who are helping us achieve a more environmentally friendly city and one that supports a very diverse and thriving economy. Working hard and working together, and that's what we will succeed. I believe that in bringing new businesses, new industries, and new opportunities, create new jobs for many people who've been left out. And this is, I think, an exciting press conference because I think we reaffirm our commitment in these hard economic times, and people are afraid to take some new challenges. But for us, I think this will send a strong message to the rest of the country that in hard economic times, all of us can join together to make a difference in a lot of people's lives. Thank you.